It's hot outside, and the conversation about artificial intelligence is also heating up. Today, in our latest SVG Fireside Chat, I'm joined with Neil Gordon, who's going to discuss today about how AI is affecting personal investing and finances. Okay, Neil, how are you?
Hi, good, Isabel. Thank you. So, yes, AI is definitely changing the world that we live in here. I think I'm trying to remember what it was like back in the 80s when the internet was first introduced, and even earlier when personal PCs were introduced. And it was a disruptor, right? All the things were changing. People were concerned about their jobs, about the way they made a living, and here we are. It is affecting things. And I'm not even talking about the data centers or the infrastructure that is changing the world, but our daily lives. And of course, we're using it. And of course, we're using it in our finances. I'm sure each of us have asked questions to AI or ChatGPT about personal finances or banking or investments. So, yes, it's here. We'll have to work with it, reuse it in our office. So, yeah, let's have this conversation. It's a great conversation.
So, Neil, looking specifically at personal financing, where do you think AI plays the most valuable role? And also, do you think that AI solely could produce a financial plan for somebody?
Well, I think about how we're using it and how it's going to be able to provide more information to us. So, I feel that's where the most value is. So, for example, if you ask a question to any AI chat box, it comes back with information. It's data. It's data that's pulled from out in the Ethernet, right? It's pulled from information, and I think that's where it has the most value because there is a lot of information out there, uh, as opposed to building a full financial plan. I just feel that's very challenging. It takes time to build a financial plan and to build it, to push a button to say, hey, give me a full financial plan for X, Y, and Z. I just feel it's going to be really difficult with just so much information out there.
And there's probably also risk in there for people who have to put their personal information online to get that information to pull back. So
That's
there's risk.
so true. So you put in I've seen people upload some files
Hmm.
into the AI. That means Tom Smith, his name, Tom Smith, is out now in the system, and it could be dragged through and used in additional information down the road. So, yeah, I just feel, or we feel the most benefit to AI with respect to financial plans is just data.
Hmm.
Give us data, give us perhaps some opposing points of views and pros and cons. But I just don't think it could go ahead and say, build me a financial plan. I think that's going to be very challenging.
So I think a common question that the average consumer comes up with is when they're using AI, how would they typically know whether information is correct?
Well, they wouldn't necessarily. So you ask a basic question uh, for anything, finances, electricity, anything that you want have a question about. Think about how AI is gathering that information. So there's papers that were written, books that were written, thesis papers, um, educational aspects, algorithm driven data from a think tank. Think about all the different ways that this information is on the internet, and AI is just grabbing it.
Hmm.
And think about how it comes. It comes that quick.
Yeah.
So so you talk to somebody just in a regular conversation. If they're quick with their answers, instinctively you think that's right. Well, AI is coming back with real information, but who knows where it's actually coming from? So So if you start to use that information, there could be biases built into that answer. It could have been, think about something that was written and perceived to be true in the 90s. And for 10 years, that was the truth. But then all of a sudden in the 2000s, the law changed, taxes changed, something changed in the environment. Well, that information is still being dragged into it.
Yeah.
So you could have these biases that are taking place. So as an exercise, I actually asked AI how much financial information that is provided to somebody who asks, how much of it is true? And AI comes back because it's grabbing information out there with these same type of questions. It came back as saying 66% is correct.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's great, except for that other 34%. That's incorrect. So you better make sure that you're not grabbing the 34% that's incorrect. I even asked further, how about for real calculations uh, with specific numbers, etc.? And it said that 85% is incorrect.
Wow.
So it's a lot of information. And so if you're just gonna grab that information and say this is the truth, I think just it's very difficult to accept that. And I'll take this one step further because the financial plan industry is not the only industry that's being affected by AI. So in the legal world, and I go to many estate council meetings locally here in Bucks County. Uh, if you there are being lawyers that are being disbarred for using AI driven data and case law. And so they're being disbarred as they're coming into certain judges' courtrooms. So I think, so I think there's a balance that we're going through. We're trying to figure out how to use AI. We're looking at this as well internally, how much of a factor is. But if certain information is coming through is wrong or the bias is wrong, and now it's being used as a given to build a financial plan, that's where challenges and people could get in trouble. May not happen right away, but 5 years, 10 years, 15 years down the road, and it may not even be you. It might be your successors, your future generations. They're going to be the ones have to deal with this new technology.
Mm-hmm. So it almost requires an extra layer of research and
Sure. It's amazing. You start to go down a rabbit hole with it.
yeah.
You ask a question, it leads to another question. So you ask that question, before you know it, and you look at how AI is driving those questions, they keep on asking for, do you want more information? Do you want more information?
Yeah.
So yes, I think it's very challenging for someone to say this is going to be how I build my financial plan if you're not doing all the research to get to the right bottom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think I've definitely asked AI a question and it's been wrong. And I've known it was wrong by just looking at it and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So it's definitely a possibility.
Yes.
So, Neil, again, looking at someone's personal financial plan using AI, where might AI likely miss when evaluating that?
Well, so you think about how AI works, and it's data driven. So it's information, it's pulled from somewhere. It gives you exactitudes about where they're gathering their information, but it's non-emotional. So it's purely just facts that it's gathering from different places. So if you think about financial planning, yes, of course, you're looking at facts, you're looking at law, you're looking at taxes, but I feel that in our conversations or when we're talking with clients, you're spending 20% of the time after you're talking about facts, and the other 80% of the time you're talking about emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So think about when you're talking with your parents about monies. So maybe the conversation is just, X plus X, right? And the cost of certain things or insurance, but all the different emotional aspects of finances, how you've worked with monies, how your parents uh, worked with monies, what they were taught in the past. And I think when you start looking at it that way, you if you're just using AI, you're gonna lose that.
Yeah, definitely.
You're A lot of times we don't get phone calls unless something happened in the world or something happens, a life changing event. And I feel that's where AI misses out. They won't have that. So I think to wrap this up, there we're going to be able to use AI for to build these financial plans. It's just going to miss something.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have that human to human experience, and uh, you need it. You need it. We need to hear from our clients. Our clients need to hear from us.
So, Neil, can you talk more about the human component versus the AI coming into it?
Yes. So I think each of us advisors, um, we're constantly talking to our clients, reaching out on birthdays and life events. So now recently I had a client that unfortunately she passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So you think about a life event like that. So now in her family, she ran the finances. So the spouse all of a sudden was thrown into um, this whirlwind of having to deal with finances. So the conversations, the meetings, the working together, the process of gathering information, right? That's the human component.
Yeah.
Financial planning. So versus AI, if you plug that in, the information that's going to come out could be very cut and dry. But we're in a people business, how we talk to each other, and it's all important. It's all revolving around finances. So whatever comes our way, there's this human component, and it's and it builds over time. So I think so. Yes, this whole conversation is where AI is going to be and how it's going to help us. I I just can't see how. I just see the value of the human to human conversation will always be there, and it just grows over time. There's Think about how planning works. It's incremental. So you meet for the first time, you talk about things, you build a rapport, you gather information. The second meeting, you're starting to talk more and more. The third, fourth, 10th, 20th meeting, every time you're getting together, the plan is changing a little bit, incremental. So it's years in the making. That value there and us understanding what's going through their mind, what's going through their spouse's mind, now the children, and it continues to expand. So again, mm, the is AI going to um, rip our world apart in terms of financial planning or in anything else? I just don't see it. I just see it. It just because it's another tool.
Yeah.
It's another tool, just like our laptop or our phones or the internet. It's another way to just get more information. And I'll say one more thing. Remember how we were supposed to go paperless because we're going to be have all emails, and it doesn't happen. It just seems that we have more and more work, more and more things at our hands to build things. So again, AI is just, I feel it's just going to add to that, helpful, but it it's just going to give us more information to
Yeah.
use.
Just making sure that you're using it properly,
That's correct. Yeah,
using that tool.
that's
Yeah.
correct.
So, Neil, what is one final takeaway for somebody who is currently using AI to make personal financial decisions?
So I would say you just have to be wary. of where the information is coming from. You have to do your research. Uh, it, if you read a book, there's information in the back of where they got that resource. In AI world, it's just coming back with the information. So you just have to be careful with that. Um, and I'll say one more thing. I asked AI, will if I asked you to build a financial plan, will you be a fiduciary on that plan? And of course, AI comes back and says, no, they will not be fiduciaries to plan. All they're doing, and they'll say clearly, is we're just going to provide information and it's up to you to do what you want with that information. So think about where you get your information, who you talk to, the professionals that you work with. I know personally, I would never try to do electricity. And so if you're going to take on the financial responsibility of building your own financial plan without working with professionals, I just think it could be real difficult. But your CPAs, your lawyers, your financial planners, that's those are your professionals that you work with. And I think that's where how you do the distinction between if you think AI is going to do everything for you or not. So I think we're going to continue to expand on this. We're constantly trying to research how AI will fit into financial planning and of course how it will go in the future. So look on our website, in our resource section of the Secure Planning Group website. We're going to have more webinars, more information. We're here and we're here for you, and we're going to continue to try to educate our clients as much as possible.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us on the latest SPG Fireside Chat. Again, I'm Isabelle. Thank you, Neil.
Thank you, Isabelle.